Josh VanEmmerik.
And I'm Austin Jacobs.
And we analyze job satisfaction at Coca-Cola. So we wanted to start you guys off by showing you guys a brief clip of a Coca-Cola commercial of some bears enjoying some Coca-Cola. While you guys enjoy your Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola's mission statement is to refresh the world, to inspire moments of optimism and happiness, and to create value and make a difference. Coca-Cola really ties back all of its decisions to its mission statement, and it gives the employees a clear sense of what the company values, as well as it creates a unifying sense to the company.
So we were able to obtain 2 interviews with 2 higher-level employees from Coca-Cola. The first being Mr. John Sadam, who's the Vice President of National Accounts, and the second being Ms. Krista Mullen, who's the Assistant Vice President of Shopper Marketing and Commercial Planning. And so from the data that we gathered from these 2 interviews, this is the basis of our presentation.
So we analyze job satisfaction using the job characteristics theory. To give a brief summary, the theory focuses on how job satisfaction ultimately relies on 3 aspects: the meaningfulness of the work, responsibility for the outcomes, and knowledge of results, with the 2 moderators being knowledge and skill and growth needs strength. So we're going to break down the 5 components that ultimately lead to job satisfaction.
At Coca-Cola, they endeavor into a variety of companies and channels, whether it be bars, restaurants, casinos, theaters. Coke is involved in one way or another. And when talking to John and Kristen, they feel strongly that having such a diversified company allows them to fluctuate all over the grid. With presence on American Idol, music, movies, and trailers, it really allows them to work with multiple progressive and innovative customers on a day-to-day basis, which proves to be very beneficial to the company. With having various customer channels, having the ability to collaborate and adapt to customers' needs and wants is very important. Understanding insights and more so the industry to help provide customers with solutions via text, email, board meetings, etc. is really what Coke is all about.
Coca-Cola employees have a high level of identity because they see a project from start to end, and they're able to see their product in the world because Coca-Cola is everywhere. There is no such thing as quitting at Coca-Cola. As soon as you start a project, it's yours until the end. John Sadam, who's one of the people that we interviewed, was a big person in the Coca-Cola freestyle machine, and so now every time he goes to a Chipotle or a Qdoba or a McDonald's, really any fast food restaurant, he's able to see his input right there in the flash. And that goes from people who are in marketing to the commercials they see, even down to the distributors and seeing their product in the store shelves. So Coca-Cola has a very high level of identity for their employees.
So moving on to significance. Going along with the mission statement, Coca-Cola really strives to bring people happiness, as they do this through various campaigns. For example, Share a Coke campaign, which we hope brought a smile to your faces, and campaigns such as just simply promoting simple act of kindness to bring a smile to people's faces every day. The biggest campaigns that Coca-Cola supports that impact the lives of millions of people is their 5x20 campaign, Water for Africa, and sustainability efforts such as the plant bottle. So the 5x20 campaign is Coca-Cola's global commitment to empower 5 million women entrepreneurs build successful businesses by 2020. Their Water for Africa is a 6-year, $30 million contract that they made with a project called RAIN that is helping to improve access to clean water for 2 million people in Africa. And finally, their sustainability efforts. Their biggest effort right now is the plant bottle, which is a PET plastic bottle that's packaged with material partly made from plants, and it's completely recyclable. And this has implications further than just using the innovative material for packaging the bottles. Ford's Fusion Energy Hybrid uses this material in its interior design, and that saved them from using a lot of petroleum-derived materials.
So when talking to John and Krista, Coke representatives, they feel like they're really contributing back to the society. At the same time, they're making themselves feel really happy. Workers feel that they're making a difference in the world, one Coke at a time was John Satan's quote. It's probably why the reason is because they've been here for so long. Everyone is really so passionate about where they work and what they do in Coca-Cola.
At Coca-Cola, the biggest buzzword that both Kristen and John used was freedom within a framework, which talks about their autonomy. So freedom within a framework, as they described it, was giving them the guidelines and the objectives that a project is supposed to have, but giving them the autonomy and the discretion to figure out how they get from point A to point B. This is what makes Coke such an innovative and a company that keeps everyone on their toes all the time, because they let their employees do what they do best. Be creative and use their skills to do the project how they see fit. Because of this great level of autonomy, there's very little micromanaging. Both John and Kristen talk to their bosses maybe once every 10 days, once every 2 weeks, and it's really just to check in to see how the project's going and maybe give them a new project. It's not pulling strings saying, oh, you have to do this, you have to do this. It's really up to them and what they want to do.
So, as Austin mentioned, Coca-Cola really promotes freedom, independence, discretion within the workplace. So they really are big on promoting work-life integration and not just balance. They do this through various efforts. For example, they're really big on health and wellness programs. They have a subsidized gym program at work. They're also really flexible with their schedule. For example, if an employee wants to leave early to go to their kid's baseball game, recitals, ceremony, award, whatever it may be, they're allowed to do so as long as they get their work done on time, which goes along with the buzzword freedom within a framework. They also even allow some workers to work from home if they qualify for a period of time. So we read an article that dealt with how work-life integration correlates with a firm's productivity, and it has a stronger impact when a firm has a high percentage of women and professionals working at their company. So we took a look at that 2010 U.S. Diversity Stewardship Report and found that Coca-Cola had 51% male and 49% female non-hourly workers, which indicates that Coca-Cola should benefit from having work-life programs.
Another article that we found in the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology talks about how a high level of autonomy correlates to a high level of work-family facilitation. What work-family facilitation means is that when someone is happy at their job, they're going to be happy in their home life too. And this is derived from the high level of autonomy that jobs have, which correlates very strongly to why employees at Coca-Cola are very happy, because the autonomy is such a high factor in job satisfaction. Moving into feedback, Coca-Cola practices a management by objectives method to give their employees feedback. At the beginning of the year, both employer and employee sit down and write out objectives that both of them think are manageable. 50% of these goals are quantitative goals, the what, which is most of the time based on volume and sales, and the other 50% are more qualitative goals, which are leadership behaviors, the how. Some of these leadership behaviors are driving innovation, collaboration, acting like an owner, inspiring others, and developing the self in others. While these qualitative goals are a little more subjective, the quantitative goals are much more specific, direct, more of a SMART goal. At the end of the year, both management and employees sit down together at the end and re-go through the checklist of whether or not they achieved their goals. This is beneficial to the employee because it tells them exactly what they did right, what they did wrong, and where they stand in the organization.
So Coke employees are always striving for personal accomplishment. They're always trying to move up the rankings and try to get the most money in the best position possible. In order to do that, there's one of two things that are needed. It's an upper educational degree along with a high competence and many skills that are needed. Also, the second thing that you need is an extensive work experience that really allows them to see that you've been trying for a while, and in turn you're allowed to get interviewed for a job promotion. You do this by expressing to your colleagues and your bosses, really just expressing interest that you want a job promotion. And although many people do try to get a job promotion, it's very difficult to move up in the rankings.
Going into that, like Josh said, everyone wants to move up to Coca-Cola. There's a very high growth need strength at Coke. Because everyone wants to be the best and want to excel in their job, to get that promotion, they have to go above and beyond what they do. So most typical employees spend about 80% of their time doing their current job roles, while the other 20% of their job time is spent doing extra projects, extra jobs, extra classroom time, or just extra work in general to really show that they are the correct person for the job, that they do deserve that promotion. If they don't get the promotion, which is very competitive, that you actually have to apply for the job, it's not just saying like, oh, you're doing a great job, Johnny, we're going to bring you up to the next level, but you actually have to apply with everyone else to see if you are the right person for the job. For some people, that's not the case. For most people, because Coke is so competitive. When that happens, Coca-Cola suggests taking a lateral move in the company to really gain more skills and more knowledge about the company, to further promote yourself both psychologically and physically through the company. To do this, you have to have a developmental plan, which Coca-Cola does a great job of through their feedback and the autonomy programs that they have to get their employees to the next level.
So, Coke versus Pepsi. Coca-Cola is the world's largest beverage company. They're the #1 provider of sparkling beverages, ready-to-drink coffees, and juices. Everybody knows Coca-Cola is better than Pepsi. Even Pepsi knows, as you can see from the comic, the poor Pepsi workers being fired for drinking Coca-Cola. So, to conclude, job satisfaction at Coca-Cola is through the roof, which is why the employees are so committed to the organization. It's really hard to move up, as my teammates have been mentioning, because nobody ever leaves Coke. The employees are proud to represent the brand, and as our interviewee John Sadam mentioned, the biggest perks of working for Coca-Cola is they treat you with respect, flexibility, and autonomy. Even though job satisfaction only has a moderate correlation with job performance, the interviewees made it clear that everybody at Coca-Cola works hard to keep their job.
So we hope you enjoyed our presentation. Hopefully you shared a Coke with us, you opened some happiness. And a little side note too is that this is actually, that was perfect. This presentation was actually given to us by one of the Coca-Cola employees. The little Coca-Cola logo down there is an official Coca-Cola presentation as well. So,
Thank you for your time.
thank you.